a round of applause.
So many friends, I've known so many of you for so long. I still don't feel too old. I consider myself quite lucky. One of our friends here tonight was, so I suppose you're going to speak about the fact that you don't make it alone. And she gave me the speech for this evening. It's true, no man is an island unto himself. I'm a very fortunate man to have surrounded myself with some lovely women and some very competent men as well. And I'm most grateful for that fact. And it's not only the staff that we have and the directors who have, some have become great friends, but it's also the great clients and suppliers that we've been most fortunate to have. And people have said to me, you're lucky. I like to think of it as being graced. Favored by the Lord, and for that I'm truly grateful. It's always good to have a great team. You know, Ruth mentioned that I've had a few valley experiences, and I have. I'm sure many of you have had as well. You don't want to hear my sad story. But you know, I was kidnapped once, and again, you know, I learned to walk through the valley of the shadow of darkness. The thing was to fear no evil. That's the real challenge. And sitting here tonight are a few people, and quite a few that were here before, you know, that were right here at the beginning when you saw what the place looked like. Unfortunately, the pictures didn't come up this evening. And what it looks like today, and you know, I don't want to take all the credit for that. So many fantastic people had great input, and you know, I'm really grateful to all of those people. Some have died, and I think of them, and you know, I mean, that's the course of life. Some have retired, like Spud Norton, who put his oars in here and taught us a lot, was really committed, and it was fantastic to have him work with us for his second career. And everyone's been saying to me, we need to give a name to this road, which runs up the middle of the property here. And so I've decided to name it Norton Road. Some of them continue to serve, and you know, for that I'm very grateful. We have a fantastic team. You know, I continue to learn from them, and I hope that they continue to learn from me. One of the things that I did learn, you know, getting into the hotel business was how to sell. As I mentioned, we sold all of our houses, all of our cars, all of our furniture, and for a long time I lived in a room next to the bar, which used to rattle all night. So we ended up having to party all night ourselves too. And that is what this industry is about. It's about passion, and it's about being involved, and it's about putting everything into it. So I'm a very fortunate man having had these wonderful people. While I've been here, I've had two wonderful children, and I'm still married to a wonderful wife, so I consider myself very lucky. I thought about it, and there were many sad stories I could have told you, because we've seen quite a few in this industry. It tends to bring a few sad people by, but I thought I'd tell you two of the funny ones. The one is, I've named the man with sand in his ears. We had a manager who befriended one of our construction workers and decided to go out drinking with him one night. And they got themselves totally and utterly drunk, first in our bar, and then they They visited other places and then they came back and they were totally wasted. And the construction worker passed out. And the manager was very distressed that he would now have to drink alone. And I arrived early the next morning and the construction worker was trying to kill the manager. And I said, what happened? And he said, I woke up this morning and I was deaf, boss. And I said, well, how are you deaf? He said, my ears were packed with sand. And I said to the manager, what happened? He said, I was so pissed with him that he had run out on me at the party that I filled his ears with sand. I had to try and empty this man's ears of the sand and persuade him not to take us to the CCMA for being abused. And then I had to fire the manager. So it is a strange industry. Coupled with that story was this lady bishop who used to come here and visit us and hold her meetings all over South Africa. And of course, as all bishops, she traveled in style. And accompanying her was her albino python. And we were quite friendly to pets, but the staff were a bit taken back at having this python. And around about that time, we were doing some repairs and maintenance to the hotel. And we had tilers in. And they were tiling this place. They couldn't find a plug. So one of the tilers decided that he would jump over the wall to the royal suite where he knew there was an outside plug in the gazebo to plug in his angle grinder. And the bishop happened to be taking a shower with the python. We have never found the tiler. And the bishop insisted on not paying. So losses were encountered all around, and it stuck in my mind as to what a funny business this is. There is the humorous side. As Ruth alluded to earlier, we all live in the same environment, do we not? And we're all talking about being green, and I do believe that's vitally important for the next generation. But more than that, we have to survive, and there's not much we can do about the environment in terms of what's happening. We have to live with it, and that, I want to share with you that's part of what we need to be about. We can't always pray that things should be easier. We need to pray that we need to get better. We need to be able to overcome the obstacles that are around, and they're everywhere. And we need to set a better sail, because the wind is blowing the same for everyone. And we mustn't lose heart just because of a little recession here or a little whatever there. We need to dig a little bit harder and rethink things and reset the sail and chuck the oars in and do all the things that we can to get on with life. Life is about risk and not being risk averse. And it's no point dwelling on yesterday. We really need to pay much more attention to tomorrow and to making tomorrow that much more viable. And I have shared with as many people as possible the idea that it's incumbent upon all of us to have a decent philosophy, one that really works, a good personal philosophy. And I'd share with you that we shouldn't wish that life was easier, we should wish that we were better. We shouldn't wish for less problems, but we should wish for more skills. And we shouldn't wish for less challenges, but we should wish for more wisdom. A casual approach to life will get you casual results. And, we really need to dig in. Somebody shared with me that poor people think day to day. Middle class people think month to month. Rich people think year to year. And very rich people think decade to decade. We need to set goals that are worthy of us and do our utmost to achieve those goals. Let us stretch our thinking into the future. Let us develop long-term relationships. Think on how we can serve each other better, our families, our friends, and our clients. And let us raise a glass Together, would you stand? My toast is to the King of Kings and to yourself.